It is very bad these days. Yesterday, there was a mass shooting, and a week ago, we lost our rights to abortion. And more than 2 years ago, the pandemic hit, and everyone I know lost something or someone, and we haven't had time to recover. I am a writer. I write for pleasure, for work, for therapy, for ego, for comfort, and more often than not, for answers when I'm feeling overwhelmed by a feeling or a systemic issue I see playing out in the microcosm of my own life. So I have to tell you, I have a terrible crush. He's not terrible. I think he's probably fine, good even, but don't take my word for it. I'm the most biased person when it comes to him. I think I'm probably more biased than his friends who actually know him, his parents who presumably love him, his sibling who maybe has some insight no one else does because siblings often do. I'm biased because he's the shape of a person, and I'm absolutely addicted to what he has to offer me. Random texts, mindless chatter, nearly a year of small exchanges about TV shows we both watched or recommend, roommate dynamics, the way people treat their pets, the mundane. When I talk to my friends about this crush, which is more often than I'd like to admit, they play their part with a kindness I hope to repay one day. Allie says things like, "And then what did he say?" Hannah asks, "How are things going there?" My friend from college picks up the phone after a few weeks without catching up and says, "Anyone special? Are you still into that guy?" It's so loving, it could break my heart. I think the world is maybe the worst I've ever known it to be, and my friends, even my family, who know I've had a light flirtation since last summer, are generous enough to check in and see how it's going when it comes to this nothing of a relationship, despite the fact that we can all agree there are much more important things going on. I have been in love before, mutually, committed, adored, in it with another person, and I know that this is not that. This is one-directional admiration, irrational excitement at the sound of a new text, heart pounding at 3 dots appearing on my phone screen, TikToks about anxious attachment resonating all too well because if I'm left on red, I feel devastated. This crush is terrible. But I really think it's doing something good for me. I don't have to tell you again how bad things are, how easy it would be to not want to get up in the morning, to feel like there's nothing to look forward to get the deep, alarming feeling that people aren't actually good. But it's for that reason that this crush, this ridiculous infatuation, is the most hopeful thing I can hold on to right now. The fantasy of what a person could be to me, someone to talk about nothing with as I imagine a future together. I know from my most recent relationship that was largely built during quarantine, once you're with someone, really with someone, sure, you talk about the mundane, but you also share the extremes, the novel, the catastrophes. You watch the January 6th uprising on the television together. You register Wisconsin voters as a date night even though it feels hopeless. You go to bed together, terrorized by what the day has wrought, and wake up aware that while one of you may be ready to put yesterday away, one may not be, and that has to be okay. A crush is the antithesis. It's something unto itself. It exists only when you conjure it, and it breathes without effort. I don't have to do anything, and my crush, the person and the feeling, is just there, waiting to be attended to only as I see fit. It's a distraction when Twitter is hell and going outside feels like a risk on every front. I can go into the crush and stay there a little while and hope and dream and let it be. It's also fun. I cannot count the hours my friends and I have enjoyed laughing about this potentially one-sided obsession of mine. The nights we spent drinking wine and going over texts and analyzing what he said and how he said it and what's wrong with him for not being more flirtatious and what's going on with me that I need that so much. I've laughed so hard about it. There are times I think it's self-indulgent, bringing up this never-gonna-happen crush as if it's real, as if it's leading to something more, and I actually need my friend's advice. But then we laugh with rosé pouring out of our noses because I tried to not flirt with him for a week and couldn't make it 36 hours. I become a clown, and the people I love most in the world get to laugh at me, and it makes the smoke around us feel a little easier to breathe through. In the privacy of my own mind, where there are feelings I don't share with friends for entertainment, he is three-dimensional and adorable and well worth a crush. I have no doubt I am one of many people who think he's great, and that private part of me, the part that doesn't find it super funny when he doesn't text back, the part of me that wishes we lived in the same city, that I could ask him out for real, that part is valuable too. It reminds me that I can still get genuinely excited about being in a relationship again after feeling what it's like to have a heartbreak. I can trust that some people are good, that I can picture myself in the future, yes, with someone, but most importantly, just in a future, one I'm excited by. A future that makes climate change, unfettered access to guns, a raging pandemic, and everything else bad fade into the background because of a focal point too exciting to ignore. If this is having a crush at the end of the world, it's not everything, but as I see it, it's one answer to the question of how we survive.